Hey guys, Video Psych here. Now, of course, this will be the last video of today. I decided to get these few videos out of the way, and just yesterday I got a message or comments on my channel stating about how they want a video on the shipping process here. So here's the comment here. It says, "Hey, can you talk about the shipping process in terms of how it comes in terms of packaging?" he uses the word terms a lot. Discreteness, size, and shape of packaging. And it said, "I've talked about it, but I guess I'll make a video based on it." But I might have to look at the comment again. But as far as like the shipping process, I mean, I've only had to do it a few times. When I got my doll from Teddy Babes, which is my first love doll, she just came in a cardboard box. I mean, I'd say it was at least about 4 foot high, about at least 2 to 3 feet wide of a box. And, it was because they kind of folded her up a bit into the box, of course. And, I took her out, it's like, hey, neat. Although, of course, I did have to kind of replace, the insert that she came with because she just had a fabric insert. But otherwise, I mean, she didn't have any stuffing in the box with her. She just kind of came as is. Teddy Babes are nice and great to pose. Yes, they can be. And she was a very reliable doll. I had her for like, I don't know, was it 8 years, 7 years, something like that. I mean, it's a pretty nice doll for the most part. Teddy Babes are very easy to care for for the most part. But as far as the shipping process went, it took at least a couple months because at one point, there's just a shipping error. And then so instead of it coming within a month to a month and a half, it took her 2 months to get to my place. But I mean, the service from Teddy Babes is a good service. As far as I've seen, they tend to try to be nice to everybody that calls them, etc. Because since it was my first time, I called them actually. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, it was a fairly simple shipping process, etc. And I would say the most recommended way to, I guess, get or buy a love doll is by using PayPal, because there are plenty of places though that they do not have good service, and depending on the company, they are either hit or miss when it comes to you actually getting the love doll and your product, or sometimes you won't even get it if they're just a complete scam. Now, there are also a lot of love doll sites that claim to be, the real, thing. It's like, oh, those other guys, yeah, that's not the real doll. We're the real doll. We're doing the half the price here. We're the real deal. It's like, just because you're cheaper doesn't mean that you're the real deal. So yeah, that's just shit that you need to keep in mind, is that just because they're cheaper doesn't mean that they're the real deal. Okay. Now, keep in mind, if you want a knockoff doll, I'm not going to try and stop you from getting one. But just so you know, I've been hearing a lot of people that, they will get the doll and the skeleton is already broken, or they will have the love doll for at least a month or so, and it'll already break. I'd say the most complaints I've had with knockoff love dolls is the skeleton either rotting or breaking easily. And maybe also some complaints about, the love doll material not being very, good. It'll look, I would say, kind of like a TPE doll should, but you also notice that there's more discoloration to the skin, probably. And so I just don't recommend you guys get a knockoff doll. And again, just because a site says it's cheaper doesn't mean it's the real deal. Just do a little bit of research into the site and the real sites before you actually make a purchase, because I guarantee that there's a big chance that you're going to regret it. And I always hate to see people paying at least a few $100s on a love doll and then that happening to them. So just keep that in mind. But as far as TPE dolls go, it kind of depends on the company and the size of doll that you get. So also keep that in mind as well, because this person was also asking about the box size and everything. It just depends on what size of doll you get. Your box could be 5 foot tall at least, and it could be like 2 feet tall, depending on if you get like one of the shorter TPE dolls. They're only like a few $100s, and that's why some people get them, because they're just cheap. But they are short as fuck. They're only like a foot or two tall, it seems. But for the most part, you will see that they will have a plastic wrapping over them. And when you're unpackaging them, just use a pair of scissors, to get through the plastic wrapping and everything. Don't use a knife. Now, I mean, you can use a knife, but just keep in mind that there's a chance that you might cut something that you don't want. So just use a pair of scissors. And you might find, besides, of course, the rest of the packaging, like my TPE doll came with a blanket. And she came with, of course, she also came with some other stuff, like some extra glue and stuff, just for like, if for any reason, like she came damaged, that I would be able to fix her. That's the reason why they have that. They put that stuff in the package with her. It's not very much of it, but it's just enough so that if she came to you broken or scratched or scraped or something, that you'd at least be able to fix it. Because that does happen sometimes. And of course, as far as the box goes, like, you can also still use the box for storage. Now, as far as the care package goes, which tends to not come with the box, as far as the TPE doll goes, at least most of the time, it came, just separately with it. And whether or not, sometimes the care package that you get with the love doll, I got it because it was my first TPE doll, so of course I got the care package, and it came, I would say, a day or two before my love doll actually came in. And I was almost a bit confused by that at first, but that's actually how it is with the care packages. Now, I know there's maybe some places they have their TPE dolls in a cardboard box, kind of like Real Doll, but I haven't purchased one like that from any doll sites yet. Mine just came in a cardboard box, and I know that's how it is with a lot of love doll TPE sites, But as far as Real Doll went, of course, with Real Doll, I had to go through an extreme waiting period. Now, there is an option for Real Doll where you could pay like another couple $1,000s, I think it was, to make it so they will make it for you in 3 months. And of course, I didn't do that because that's just fucking bullshit to have to pay a price like that. So I just paid for the doll and the shipping, the regular shipping, of course. And of course, I also got the care package with her because it was my first Real Doll, right? And now, when the doll finally came in, it was a bit late. It was supposed to be within 7 months, but she came like after 8 months. Due to demand. And when she came in, of course, she was heavy as fuck. Her cardboard box with her in it was 240-ish pounds. And since I didn't, of course, want to ask any of my neighbors for help, because they would probably ask me questions of what it was in the contents, and the person that brought me the package wasn't even strong enough to look one of the sides of it. So I ended up having to just drag the thing down the stairs into my basement all by myself. So it was a bit of a process, but I managed to do it without damaging the doll. I tried being very careful. And then, of course, I opened the package while it was on its back. And there she lay, all, with her hands outward. She was instead of a bunch of packaging, what Real Doll does is that they kind of tie them up, but they tie them in a way that it doesn't really damage them, you know? And they have some, I would say, foam sections that kind of keep everything in place for the Real Doll. And when the care package that I also purchased came in the box actually, because it was a bigger size box than than with the TPE doll. The only thing that didn't come in the box with it was the stand, so they just put that on top of the box. They weren't able to fit the stand in with the Love Doll in that box, but still, I mean, for the most part, and then there's like this deal behind her neck that was keeping her neck and head in place. I had to unscrew that. I had to unscrew a couple other things, I think, maybe. But yeah, for the most part, she was kind of in there tight and she was safe. And then I set up the box downstairs. I set it upwards for her to be stored in for when I need to do that. And that's it. And also another thing with Real Doll is that if you want some extra help with carrying your package in, you can do that. All you have to do is that when they send you the email for when your package is ready to be shipped, you have to send them the email whether you want some extra help, bringing your doll into your apartment or not. And I think it was at least another $150 or something like that. It's been a while now. It's been over 3 years now, so I don't think I remember, but it was something along that price, for extra help to have another two guys help you out. But as far as the shipping process like that, that's basically it. I mean, if you guys have any more questions about the shipping process or how the dolls come out, etc., you could, ask me or comment down below in the comments. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.